Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm going to do a parallax scrolling tutorial. Some of you have been asking me so much for me to do this kind of tutorial, so I decided, okay, it's time for it, let's do it. So for all of you that you don't know what is a parallax scrolling, I'm just going to show you in here quickly. So basically, when you have an image like this, and if I'm going to scroll down, look how the image in here on the background is scrolling at a different speed than the rest of the page. If I scroll up, it's scrolling down with a different speed. So this is called a parallax scrolling effect or something. So yeah, I'm gonna do this kind of tutorial in here. It's pretty easy. So yeah, just follow me now. All right, let me just get rid of these. Let's start with our index.html file. So I'm using the Visual Studio Code, my code editor. So I just press this one. I have this small code already pre-done. First of all, I'm gonna link to my. I'm gonna put a link to my CSS. So I created here on my folders. I created a folder CSS, and inside I have a main.css file, which is this one, is completely empty, but I need to reference here on the top. So I'm going to put CSS, it's the name of the file, and then the folder, and then main.css is my file. So this one is referenced now, and now I need, because I'm going to use jQuery, I need to put a link to jQuery. So I'm just gonna open here Google and put jQuery CDN. You guys can do this with vanilla JavaScript as well. It's almost the same thing, but it's so much easier using jQuery that I'm gonna use it now. So I'm gonna put this in here. So this script in here is just to make sure that jQuery is working in our project. And now I need to put a reference as well, a script, and I'm going to reference in this script my JS folder, and it's going to be script.js. So in here, next to my index.html, I have a folder called JS. That's why I put this one in here, JS/script.js. So this is the file I created, and it's in here completely empty, just to make sure that we are referencing our CSS and our jQuery and our script file. Let me just see if these files are working. So for that, I'm just going to grab the body, and I'm going to grab the body. I'm going to put the background color of blue, and on my script file I'm just going to put a console.log hello. So just make sure we have everything working fine. Let me open the file now. Okay, so the background is blue, so our CSS file is working. And now I need to open the developer tools, and console, I have a hello that I put. So everything is fine. We can start with this. All right, so let's go to our index.html page. I want to create, first of all, a div with a class container. You guys can give it whatever name you want. So I'm going to give it a div with a class container. And okay, I want inside of this div to have a div with a class hero. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this background color blue that I put before. Actually, I'm going to get rid of all of these. I'm going to start with a asterisk, or how you call it, and just target this. This means just to target everything on the page. I'm going to give it a margin of 0 to all the elements, and padding 0 as well. And I want the box sizing to be border box. Okay. Right, so I get this. Now I want to target my div with the class container, and I want to give it background color of red, just to see it a little bit. But just if you guys remember, look, inside of this div with the class container, I have another div with the class hero, but there is no content in here on the page. So if I try to open this on Chrome, it's not going to show anything. Just look, I'm going to refresh the page. It's completely empty. But if I go in here to my main.css and I say I'm going to force a height on this div with the class container, I'm going to say a height, I want to have, let's say 85 VH. So basically what's this 85 VH? Is 85% of the height of your viewport. If you have a bigger screen, it's going to take 85% of your bigger screen. If you have a smaller screen, it's going to take 85% of your smaller screen. So it's something dynamic in here. Let's try this out. Refresh the page, and there it is. So this is our div with the class container, and it's taking 85% of the viewport from the height. Yeah. Let's say I want to give it, just for you guys to understand, 50 VH. So it's going to take 50% of the page. My screen is this big, you know, but if you try on your screen, maybe it's a different resolution, you will see different heights. But let me just show in here. Look, now it's taking 50% in here. Okay, let's put it back to 85. That's what I wanted. Okay, so we got this. Now I want my div with the class hero. I want it to have a background image URL, and the image that I want, I have a folder in here, img, and then I have this laptop that I want to put inside, this image with a laptop. I just grabbed this from Google. Okay, so in here I'm going to put ... This means that we are at the moment writing in a CSS file. So let me go back in here. We are writing in this CSS file, main.css, and the ... means, okay, let's go up one folder. So now we are in here, and then I'm going to put img. So this is to go inside of the img folder, and then inside of the img folder I want to access the laptop.jpg. Okay, and then I want to let's see, I want my background repeat, no repeat, so I don't want my background to be repeating. And then I want my background size, it's not in here, yeah, it's in here, background size to be cover. So background size cover, it means that it will take the full page. You know, there is not going to be parts of the page that will not be covered with the image. So background size cover, let's see how does it look so far. Is not showing up. Okay, let's see what's wrong in here. Because we didn't give it a height, you know. We just gave a height to our div with the class container, but since our div with the class hero is completely empty, there is nothing in there, we need to force it, give it a height, you know, to show something. So I'm gonna give it, let's say, height 100% of the page. So it's gonna have 100% height of the page. And there it is. You know, it's not showing completely because it's inside of this div with the class container, that it has this kind of height 85. That's why it's not showing completely. Okay. Right. Sorry. I was not explaining correctly. This height 100% is going to be 100% of the parent, and since the parent is this one container, which is 85% of the image of the browser, so this 100% is going to be this one. So it's taking the full height of the parent. Okay, so we got this one working. Now let's just give it in here a div with a class text, you know, because we are going to put a lot of text in here. I'm going to put just a paragraph and lorem. Okay, so basically I'm going to create a lot of these, just, you know, just to give it some content in here. I'm going to put in here a h1. This is a Parallax tutorial. Okay, so inside of my div with the class text, I want the margin to be 0 auto. So this is just like to center everything on the page. And I want the text align to be centered. All right, let's refresh this. It's looking good. It's looking good. Okay. Now I also want to give a margin bottom of 500 pixels. Okay. Yeah, so we can scroll really down. Okay. And I want to give a padding on the top. Padding on the top of maybe 50 pixels. Just so it looks nice. Okay. Yeah, it's looking nice now. Okay, so we got this scrolling now. Now we need to create our JavaScript file. Okay, so in here, I'm gonna select with jQuery $, and I'm gonna select the window object. So this is in JavaScript, you can actually select the window object, and there is a lot of things, a lot of methods associated with it. So one of them is the scroll. So dot scroll. So this will trigger something whenever you are scrolling on your page. We can do something with it. So I'm going to do window dot scroll, and I'm going to put a function. Okay. And I'm going to give it in here inside a variable called scroll top. Variable scroll top. And oops, it's not like this. Variable scroll top is going to be equal to, I'm going to grab this. So this means is the same like if I'm grabbing the window. I could just come in here and grab window, but you know, it's just a good practice whenever you are writing down something inside of a function that belongs to this object to use this dot scroll top. Okay, and we are going to see what does this does. So basically I'm creating this variable named scroll top, and I'm going to say that this variable is going to be equal to the value, to this value. And what's this value? I'm grabbing this, so is the same that I'm grabbing the window, and I'm doing dot scroll top. So this one is going to give us a value from what we are scrolling from the top. I'm going to show you in here now. Console.log, and inside I'm going to put this variable that we just created. Okay, so I'm going to refresh the page. I'm going to open my developer tools. So I'm open the developer tools. If you press right click on the page and you click inspect, then you open this console. So I'm using the Google Chrome browser. So I bet if you are using, for example, Firefox or any other browser, you can do the same. So look, this in here where I have my mouse is right the top of our page of our. So whenever we are scrolling down, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now this is a new position in here. Look, 48, 46. So this is, we are getting away from the top, and in here we can see the value of it. Look, for example, this position that we are at the moment is like 95, 95, 130, 150. And if I go back up, look, it's going down. Look, now we are on the 0. If you look at this number in here. So basically, this is just like the distance that we are scrolling down from the top, which is in here. This is the value that we are getting, okay? Okay, so now what we can do is, let's select our hero div that has the background image of this laptop that we have in here. And I want it to give it a CSS, and I want to target the background position Y. Y, it means is on vertical. And I want it to be our scroll top that we are using, this value that I just show you in here, plus pixels. Because this has to be, so this is the value that we have in there, plus pixels. So since pixels, we need to put it as a string, because this is not a variable. Okay, let's refresh the page and see what does it happen. And it's barely doing anything, you know. So let's try. This is because we are just giving it a really small amount of pixels. If we put it in here, let's put some parentheses in here. Okay. I'm going to multiply this value, scroll top, times, for example, 3. Okay. Let's refresh. And you see, it's kind of working now. It's kind of working, but not really yet. Because when we are scrolling down, we don't want the image to go down. We want the image to go up, you know. So we can just invert the sign and put it in here a minus. Okay. Let's go in here again, and the image is starting to go up and go down. But that's because our image is not big enough. That's why it's like disappearing. You see on the background, we still have our div with a class container with the background color red. So let's fix this by going in here into our main.css, and where we have our hero section that we gave it a height of 100%, let's give it a height of 200%. Look, this is how it looks with 100%. It's taking the full height of the parent, which is the container. If I refresh the page, now it should be twice as long. Look. Oh, so now it's twice as long, but first of all, it's getting out of the container. So we don't want that, okay? So our container, we are going to say, whatever goes out of our container, look, this is our container is the parent, and our div with the class hero is inside. But now, since it's so big, it's getting out. I'm going to tell whatever goes out of our container, I want the overflow to be hidden. Okay? So let's refresh and look. Now it's not coming out anymore because I said whatever is going out of our div with the class container is going to be hidden, the overflow. All right? So it's looking better. Look. Okay. Look, I'm scrolling down, but it's still, look, we can still see a little bit of this. We can still increase a little bit more. I don't know, maybe 300%. Maybe it's going to be too much, you know. Let me just get rid of this. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be fine if I just get rid of this, so you guys don't even notice this. I'm just going to put maybe 250. 250, yeah. Yeah, that looks better. Now, let's position a little bit our image because it's looking a little bit bad, you know. So I'm going to go in here in our hero div, and I'm going to put a background ground position, and we can give it two values. The first one is going to be for X and the second one for Y. So X is horizontal and Y is vertical. Okay, so I'm going to give it the first one center to center on horizontal, and then I'm going to say to put the position on the top on the Y. Let's refresh. And yeah, it's looking better. I'm going to even put a bit less so it's not that much, you know. Look. Much better. Much better. So yeah, basically, as you guys can see, we are just saying in here that we are grabbing the window, and whenever we do a scroll, I'm doing a function. And first of all, I created a variable called scroll top, and I'm giving it a value that I'm grabbing the windows, the window object. So that's why I say this, because it's inside of this function. I could put in here just window. It's the same, but this is a good practice, like I said. This dot scroll top, and this one in here, this method, is going to give us a value, and this value is when we are scrolling from the top. So in here, when we are here at the top, the value is 0, but whenever we are going down, it starts to go 10, 20, whatever. So we are grabbing this value, and then what I do is with jQuery, I'm grabbing the hero div. This is our div that has this image as a background, and I give it a CSS. This is .css, is from jQuery to access the CSS properties of this element. And I'm targeting first of all our background position Y. If you guys don't know, look, let me go in here. I'm just going to put in here, you don't have to put this, but I'm just showing you in here just to 100 pixels, just to give an example. Let me refresh the page. Look, I give it a background position of Y 100 pixels. So it's getting away from the top 100 pixels. Look in here. I'm going to select it again just to show. Let me push this up. Background position 100 pixels. Oh, I'm just going to give it a bit of zoom so you guys can see. Look how I'm pushing this up and down. This is a CSS property, and we are just targeting it with jQuery in here. And basically, we are targeting the background position Y so we can move up and down. And I'm going to give it a scroll top times 3. If you guys put, for example, 0.5, look, I'm going to refresh. 0.5, look how slow does it scroll. But if you put 3 or 4, for example, let's say 4, it's going to scroll much faster. Look, I'm going to scroll. Look. So you have to find the number that you think is better. So let's say I'm putting 2.2, something like this. Yeah, it's okay, you know, or 1.5. Okay, let's try again. It's looking good. So yeah, basically that's it for this video, guys. I hope you could understand this kind of tutorial. You know, a lot of people have been asking me for it, especially one of our subscribers called Parallax, I think, from Holland. So yeah, here is your tutorial, and I hope you find it useful. And yeah, guys, if you like it, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if this is your first video. You know, share it with your friends. And that's it for today. I'll see you in the next video.